shout out our advertisement.
Yes, our favorite sponsor. Who thought we'd be here? Today we're brought to you by Joker Inc., once again, located in Beacon, New York. My dear friend Willie Fastfeet has yet again hooked us up with more equipment. That stand you see over there. And the podcast continues to grow. So we just want to give him a shout out and say anything screen printing wise, embroidery, hats, tote bags, whatever you can think of. The works. Yeah, exactly. Signs. He can do all of it. Hit him up. That's Joker Inc., located in Beacon, New York. We appreciate you, Will. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So I'm just going to read this little thing to start off. Breaking fears, reading in public again. It's from the 7 spiritual laws of success. It's the second law. It's the law of giving and receiving. The second spiritual law of success, the law of giving and receiving, is based on the fact that everything in the universe operates through dynamic exchange. Every relationship is one of give and take because giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. If we stop the flow of energy, we interfere with nature's intelligence. We must give and receive in order to keep money or anything we want circulating in our lives. Currency, our word for money, derives from a Latin word meaning to run or flow. Money is a symbol of life energy we give and life energy we receive as a result of the service we provide to others. Like a river, money must keep flowing, otherwise it begins to clog and stagnate. Circulation keeps it alive and vital. If we stop the circulation of life energy, if our intention is to hold on to our money or hoard it, we stop its circulation back into our lives. The intention behind giving and receiving is the most important thing. When the act of giving is joyful, when it is unconditional and from the heart, the energy behind the giving increases many times over. If we give grudgingly, there is no energy behind that giving. If we have lost something through the act of giving, then the gift is not truly given and it will not cause increase. The law of giving and receiving is simple. If you want love, learn to give love. If you want attention and appreciation, learn to give attention and appreciation. If you want material affluence, help others to become material affluent. If you want to be blessed with all the good things in life, learn to silently bless everyone with all the good things in life. The more you give, the more you will receive. If your willingness to give that which you seek, you will keep the abundance of the universe circulating in your life. Abundance has material expression, but what is really circulating is consciousness. Even the thought of giving, the thought of blessing, or a simple prayer has the power to affect others. We are a bundle of thought in a thinking universe, and that thought has the power to transform. I thought that was appropriate because what you're doing, Jose, is helping transform everybody and silently blessing everybody and making the world a little bit of a better place, one person at a time. So just wanted to thank you and introduce you. Who thought you'd be here on this podcast,
Welcome to the show, Jose.
Welcome to the show. How you feeling today, man?
I feel good, man. That was powerful.
That was a lot, yeah.
That was powerful, but it was all facts.
Yeah. I read that shit every morning.
It's part of stuff that I believe in. Like, whatever you put onto the universe, into the world, is what comes right back to you. And like you said, about making the world a better place and just spreading love, like, without expecting anything in return. You know what I mean? And I think when you do that, genuinely do it real from the heart, blessings come back to you that same way.
Yeah, the universe always knows your real intention. You can hide it from all sorts of people, right? But we cannot hide it from the universe, and they always get you back.
Cool stuff.
With that being said, just want to introduce you a little bit. You're a mental health advocate from Brooklyn.
That's right.
All right. So you started off how in this journey? What brought you to change your mental health?
It really was during the pandemic. I feel like a lot of people were struggling with their mental health during the pandemic in 2020. Me, myself, I felt like I was struggling. I was at home. I didn't really have much to do. Everything was locked down. And then on Instagram, I saw there was like a men's group. There was like a Zoom men's group that was going on based out of LA. Shout out to the Bloom homies in LA. I connected with them and they had like weekly meetings. And I realized like the gap that that us as men, that space that we don't have to be able to communicate and talk to each other, and that it's not just me going through certain things, it's all of us. We all go through different things. It may not be the same things, but we have just situations, whether it be relationships, whether it be family, things that we go through, work. And I was able to connect with them, with the Bloom homies, and I learned so much about myself through that process. And that's really where my journey started. After that, the world started opening up again, and I was like, I'm gonna try to spread the word out, through my Instagram, with my platform. And I was gonna start a website. I made a sign. I went on the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was really me and my friend. She's a photographer. We went up there. We are gonna take some photos for the Brooklyn Bridge, for my website. And when I was holding up the sign for the photos, people were coming up to me and thanking me. But that wasn't the purpose of why I was out there that day. Like that day, I was just there to take the photos for the website. And then I told her, I was like, "This is it. This is what it's meant to be. I'm supposed to be on this bridge with this sign, helping people out so they can see the message." And after that, it just took off. Like I started going weekly to the bridge. People coming up to me. I started meeting people from all over the world on the Brooklyn Bridge because a lot of people come from different countries. And to me, Brooklyn, that's where I was born and raised. So I have a deep connection with Brooklyn. And the bridge, I used to walk it all the time, as a kid, just walking across the bridge. So I think that it's crazy how it happened, but it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would have asked me in 2020 if that's what I thought. Like how people have plans of this is what they want to do, this is what I want to do. I knew what I wanted to do. Like I knew I had a purpose in life. I just didn't know exactly what it was going to be. And I realized that that's what it is, to spread love and raise mental health awareness. And people ask me why I do it, and I just say, because I can. Why not? Why not do it? You know what I'm saying? People talk about all types of different things and sometimes negative things and things that aren't the best. So why not spread love and when you can and help other people out?
Yeah. People are like way more passionate about other things that are way more meaningless than what you're doing. Like you're actually out there, like you're passionate about it, and we love to see that, man. It means a lot to us, especially as men. We always talk about the struggle with men.
Yeah.
In terms of mental health and how.
So, how, like, you started by just going to take pictures. Like, what was the reason that you brought that sign? Like,
well, the sign was just something I came up with. I write a lot. So I write anything that comes to my mind, I write it I put it on my phone, like in my notes. Like if you were to look at my notes, it's like thousands and thousands. It probably takes up all the memory on my phone because I just write anything that comes to my head. I'm on the train and I think of something, like when you were reading, that, I just started thinking of things of myself, saying that I could relate to, what was said, that I could put into my own words, and share with other people. So this is something that I wrote to myself, I wrote it, and it's things that I say to myself all the time. I tell people all the time online, like I say, whatever I share with y'all is things that I say to myself. Maybe not on that day, but I've said to myself because I've needed that message. I needed that motivation. I needed that love to yourself that we sometimes don't give ourselves. We don't give ourselves that grace. We're so hard on ourselves sometimes. Like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Why am I not at that point where I'm supposed to be at yet? But I think for me, it's just really about expressing myself and connecting with people, and at the same time, it's like therapeutic for me to do that. Nice. Like the Brooklyn Bridge, making this sign and people coming up to me and telling me how much they appreciate it, how much they like it. To me, it's something that really, it makes me happy, but at the same time, it shows me that this is what the world needs, so it keeps me going too.
So writing's like a big thing for you. JP is a big writer.
Yeah, I love writing.
I'm always like, I'm not that way with my phone, but I've got a storage bin of journals and legal pads of just every single thought that is ridiculous.
But it's like my writing is not like I remember in school, like I'll just write like run-on sentences all the time. My English should be like, Jose is a run-on sentence, marking the paper with red and all that, and I'm just like, all right, like who cares now?
Exactly. Yeah, look at me now.
I'm writing all my run-on sentences all I want. Who's stopping me now? But I think I always used to like to write. It's just like, how school is. Like school isn't really creative for that. I feel like for you to be creative is more of like structured, right? Like this is how you're supposed to write. So I think, I've always liked writing. It was just a school kind of just trying to turn me off from writing just because I don't care about like
the structure,
running sentences and stuff like that. But yeah, I like writing.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
So do you have like, when you talk about your mental health, like what do you do to like keep it like at a good level? Like do you have a routine? Like I'm a big morning person. Like every day when I wake up, like I meditate, I journal, I read, like just to start my day, and then like I go for a walk. Do you have something that you do to like to get yourself going? Yeah,
it's kind of like the same. I go outside, I go on walks, and I like silent walks. I don't have no music on.
Yeah, like, we're big on that.
Yeah, like I just walk and I just take in nature, the sounds around. I feel like my mind is more clear when I'm like that. Also the music I do listen to, in the morning I've kind of changed it up. which is kind of weird.
What do you like to listen to?
No, it's like I've listened to like all right, so I'm Dominican, like right, so I've listened to like this old school like salsa music, you know what I'm saying, just because like it's like good energy and good vibes. Like I don't know, like it was a different message, like listening to the music. It's not just, I don't know, I'm not into like the whole like ratchet thing sometimes, like when it comes to music. You know,
just
what I mean?
wake up in the morning.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's like a different type of vibe. Like you going out at nighttime or whatever, all right, that's cool, I get it. Like, but in the morning, I don't need to hear all that noise in my head. Like I feel like it sets me up. Like I need to have a clear mind to just set off. Like I don't need to hear like Bad Bunny going crazy in my ears. I don't need to hear none of that drill music.
Like Blowing Money Fast comes on first song.
I don't need to hear none of that. So I like my routine is usually I go for a walk, I drink water, eat some fruit. I'm not a crazy breakfast person. I like to keep it light, and I just try to know music. And if I do listen to music, it's calming music. Do some writing, think of ideas, like when it comes to content, and that's really how my routine goes. And I've been pretty consistent with it, and it's really helped me a lot. Like I realized that being consistent with your own schedule and routine is what really helps you build and helps you get better. So that's what works for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely how I feel. I know JP's like got his routine going now too. Yeah. Like we're both very strict on that schedule. Like,
are you like flexible with yours? Like, do you always do like the same thing in the same order,
like,
the same time?
Like, there's some days where because of life, you know, you have to switch it up a little bit, or you know, like some things can't happen. But for the most part, I say, all right, let's say I can't go for a walk today. What can I replace that with? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can replace that walk? Maybe it's just meditating for like 5-10 minutes before I start my day. Like, I couldn't go for a walk because it's raining or it's snowing outside. So let me just sit down for 5-10 minutes and take some deep breaths, get myself ready to start the day. And I think that's so important. I think a lot of people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a lot of people are scattered, like just like all over the place because rushing here, rushing there. Especially if you're here in New York City where life is fast, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man.
So you got to wake up a little early sometimes and just settle yourself down before you hit that traffic.
It's big. I like get on the train and the amount of people that are just in their phone or like they have something distracting. People can't be bored. They don't know how to be bored for like a little bit of time. Like it's good to just take that like time. I'm on the train, like my commute is like a lot of affirmations. Affirmations and breath work. That's like what I do just because it is crazy on there.
Yeah, it is.
So like to just like sit back and like try and take it in and relax, I feel like really helps me. Yeah, we forgot to do the intro. You want to take a breath real quick?
Yeah, we
could always cut around it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right. So, Jose, are you ready to get deep with who thought we'd be here?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
All right, man.
He got real New York right there. All right, let's all take a deep breath here. All right.
Podcast is sponsored by Wim Hof.
Take a second to breathe, yeah. Breathe in, breathe out. Couple rain clouds ain't gonna get me down. I say, breathe in, breathe out. I'm getting back to me. All the things I do, all the things I say, all the times I took a chance, all of the mistakes I made, none of it matters.
So, we talked a little bit about the start of your journey. You want to dive a little bit more into that? Like, where were you mentally when you decided to make these changes to your life? Because for me, like, I bartended my whole life, so I was very big into alcohol and the things that came along with bartending and the partying. So, I hit a wall for like a while where I was like, I need to get out of this funk that I'm in. I just like wasn't mentally happy. I was like very groggy all the time. And like my routine, I had no routine. There was no structure to my life. It was just go to work, drink, party, come home, drink a little bit more, go to sleep, wake up miserable the next day and start that over. I took some time to like sit back and figure out what I wanted. I started listening to a podcast, which like brought me here. And it was always about mental health. So like I started trying the things that I was listening to them talk about. And like I saw the switch. And from that point on, I'm sure it happened to you too. Like once you start living happier, you don't want to go back.
Right.
So like that's where I was. Where were you at?
I think it was the same thing. I feel like I had lack of structure. I feel like I had structure, but it wasn't my chosen structure. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was just going through life, like going through it, just going through the motions. I feel like I was also holding a lot of like, when it came to like my dad, I feel like I had a lot of like I was just angry at him. You know what I mean? Like, and my father, like, he wasn't the best dad, you know what I'm saying? But like, he tried his best, you know what I mean? But I felt like I was so angry at him, at like, I just felt like he wasn't there for me. I felt like he didn't love me. I'm like, he didn't tell me he loved me, stuff like that. So like, one of the things that I realized when I started doing the work on myself is that I started forgiving him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I had a whole conversation with him, and just told him how I felt. Because that's another thing. I was like, yeah, I have all these feelings, and I've never even told him I felt this way. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never even told him I felt the way I felt about how like, as a son and as a father, our relationship, how I felt about it. I feel like I've never expressed that to him. So one Sunday morning, I woke up and I was like, I need to talk to you. And he was just like, oh man, like, what he's about to talk to you about? It's like, it can be so many things. And I'm just like, nah, I'm like, you know, I was talking to him in Spanish, and I was just telling him like, I forgive you, you know what I mean? Like, because for a long time, I was so angry at you, you know, and we both started crying. We both had that moment, you know, like, and he was telling me like, you know, like how he was raised and how his father was like so strict on him, and like, you know, growing up in Dominican Republic is very different than growing up here. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different culture. And it was just something where it was a moment where like it had to happen, but I'm happy it happened because it improved our relationship so much. Mm-hmm. Like, if you hear me and my dad talking now, like, we tell each other we love each other before we hang up the phone. Yeah. We never did that. Wow. Like, we never did that. Like, unless it was like it was weird. Like, it was always awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it was always like
forced.
Right? Like, it was like, obviously, like, I know you love me. You're my dad. He knows I love him. I'm his son. Mm-hmm. But it was one thing to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, I love you, pa. It's one thing to say that, to actually hear it and feel it. So I think that's the number one thing that really, you know, like, I still get emotional thinking about it, because I'm just happy that I was able to come to terms with that. Because some people leave this earth without being able to do that. With the people they love and stuff like that. So I'm happy that I was able to have that moment with him.
Yeah, man, that's so powerful, dude. To like that it changed your life in that way. That like, and especially like that ties right back into like being a man. And it's just like the manliest thing you can do is tell your dad like how you feel. Versus a lot of times people think the most manly thing that you can do is to shut the fuck up.
Right, mask it.
Mask it. Yeah, same thing. Shut the fuck up, however you want to word it. Yeah,
so after that, I realized like just expressing how I feel and my feelings was really that's really where your strength is at. Yeah. That's really where you found your true power. You know what I mean? That's really where you realize, like, me being able to tell, if I wanted to tell something to Steve or to you, Jay, like, tell you guys something, whatever it may be, as our relationship builds, as friends or whatever the case may be, me being able to open and talk to you guys about something, that's really what's going to strengthen our relationship, right? Yeah. Instead of me masking it or me acting like nothing like no, like, it's okay to tell each other how we feel about something. It's okay to have uncomfortable conversations sometimes. And I always tell like other dudes, like, you don't need to be on a podcast to have it. You could be in your living room with your boys just on a Friday night, Saturday. The same way we talk about girls, the same way we talk about the game, right? The basketball game and all that. We could be like, yo, what's up? How you feeling though? Like, let's check in. Like, how you really feeling? Like, how's life? What's going on with you? Because we don't have those kind of conversations. Like, we mask it with things that are usually toxic, like alcohol, substance abuse, and things like that. And that's when people usually open up, when they're like
fucked up,
when they're messed up already. That's when everything comes out. But it's like that's not healthy.
You build that. Yeah, you build that like resentment towards somebody, and then that grows into this huge thing where it's just like, if you had a conversation about it, like, dude, I had no idea. Like, I had no idea you were. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to read that with your friends. But like, the best thing that you can do, me and you do it all the time, which is that just like, how you doing? How you feeling? Everything good? Like, you know, like, that's the, you know, and then like, you know, probably 95% of the time they're gonna be like, yeah, man, I'm chilling. Yeah, but then like for that 5%, so they know to be like, I'm really struggling right now. You got time to talk, man? Like, that's the most powerful thing you can do, especially as a man.
Yeah. Like the other day I read or I heard something where it said like the only time that men get flowers is like at their funeral.
Yeah.
That's the only time men get flowers is at their funeral, right? Yeah. So I thought about that. I'm like, yo, that's crazy, because that's real.
I didn't know you were gonna drop this on us today.
That's real, right? Yeah, no, I see. So this past weekend, my boys come over, right? Yeah. Before they come over, I'm like, you know what? I'm about to get them some flowers, right? So I got 2 roses, right? They pulled up. They pulled up. I know they was not expecting that.
Yo, that's
They're
great
like,
though.
like, here goes Jose, right? So I'm like, we sitting down or whatever. I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Before we start talking about whatever we about to talk about, I ain't talk to y'all real quick. And they're like, oh man, right? I'm like, I want to say that I appreciate you guys, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and that I want you guys to know that I'm here for you guys. For anything you guys need to talk about, like, I'm here. Because there's one thing that to hear, like, yeah, Jose's there for you. No, but I want you to know, like, I'm looking at you. I'm here for you for whatever you need. Anything you need to talk about, I'm here for you. And I want to give you guys your flowers. They're like, oh, dang, I'm talking about real flowers, right? So I walk to the back, and I come back with the roses. They're like, yeah. They're like, what? They're like, they never got flowers before. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's true. We don't get flowers, and I get it. Like that, people see it as like, you know, giving it to your girl, to like your mom, right? That's the thing. But at the same time, like, why do we give us flowers at the funeral then? Mm-hmm. Like, why do we get flowers at the funeral then? Yeah. Like, don't give me flowers at the funeral. You never give me flowers in real life. Like, if you never give me flowers when I was alive, do not bring flowers to my funeral. Yeah. Do not bring flowers to my funeral. But I think it's just building that connection and understanding, like, it's like, I understand people feel like you're being less of a man if you're doing those kind of things, right? But you don't lose anything what society thinks a man is supposed to be. You don't lose that by being vulnerable or being honest. You can still be like, I love basketball. I love baseball. I love sports. I'm the most, like, when it comes to sports, I'm into that. It doesn't mean you can't check in with your boys and have those vulnerable conversations with them. There's time for that and there's space for that. So, and that makes us better men. You know what I'm saying? That makes us better people. So, you know, anybody out there listening, man, if you have your boys, give them their flowers, whether they be real flowers or just let them know that you love them and you care about them. Let them know, because they need to hear that. You know what I'm saying? You never know what somebody's going through, and that's another thing. You never know what somebody's going through. Like, that could be your boy that you know for years, you know, for your whole life. You don't know what he's really going through. You don't know if he's really telling you what he's going through. Yeah. So have that space open so that he knows, yo, I'm here for you. So, yeah.
Word, man. That's
wow. Yeah. No, that was, that was, and it's amazing that, like, we've, like, found our way to each other, because, like, a lot of what you just said is, like, the main point of our, of what we're trying to do here. So that to me, that's just like a full circle moment right there.
Yeah, man. There was a point where me and JP didn't talk for like a couple of years. So, like, we've, like, really mended our relationship. We talk all the time now. Like, if there's something that I'm thinking, or if, like, an emotion comes up, like, I don't mind reaching out to him. I know he's there for it, and, like, he'll do the same, like, when he needs something with me. And that's, like, big to have, because I feel like when you start this journey, there are a lot of people that are like, what the fuck are they doing? And, like, for me, I feel like, especially with the move, I'm at a space now where I'm, like, cultivating a new friend group because of how drastically my lifestyle has changed. Did you face that when you, like, are there guys you don't hang out? Like, you still got, I still have love for everybody I don't talk to, but, like, they're just, like, we're at different points in our lives. You got that too?
I think that's part of growth. That's gonna happen, and I think that when you start learning about yourself, you realize that that's the evolution of life. Like, everything changes and everything evolves, and you grow, right? You're not supposed to stay the same. You know, you can't stay the same. You know what I mean? And as you go through life, there's gonna be some people that are just, like you said, you still got love for them. There's people that I talk to here and there, you know what I'm saying? They reach out to me, sometimes I reach out to them and stuff like that. I still got love for them, but I just don't see them. We just in a different type of space. You know what I mean? And that's just part of what it is. And I think also understanding that you don't need to have like 20 people around you sometimes. You don't need to have like 20 million friends. You know what I mean? Like sometimes just 2 or 3 people like that really understand you and really know who you are is what you need. You know what I'm saying? To keep moving and keep going. But I definitely felt that. I definitely felt like as I started learning about myself and growing, there were some things I left behind. Some things that I'm just not interested in doing anymore, as far as even going out and like doing stuff like that. The party scene, like, yeah, I'll go out. Somebody invites me to a birthday party because, you know, I feel like if it's somebody that I'm really close to, out of respect, I will show up. You know what I'm saying? But it was a time when I feel like I had to be in everything. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh yeah, I would even invite myself. I was that person. Like, oh, you having that? Oh, you didn't tell me. I'm pulling up. I'm going there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even interested in that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with just chilling in the living room, my peoples.
Yeah, that's one of the things that me and you noticed, that, like, I don't know how old you are, but, like, when we hit 30, I'm 31, that, like, your circle starts to get much smaller, but those relationships become so much more meaningful. Like,
Right.
They become more valuable when you know you have fewer ones, but, like, they're very intimate. Like, you know, you can go there with anybody. Like, you got to like keep and develop those ones like super close and like sacred, you know.
Yeah, you put and you know, we've talked about too how it means a lot when you have like, you know, having those 2 or 3 friends that are super close to you who, like I said, if you're struggling, you can reach out to them is a huge thing to have, especially when you're in the space that we are in, which is that we wake up every day and not only do we try to be better, but we try to do better for the world.
Right, that's so big. Like, just waking up every day and trying to be better than yesterday, right?
Yeah,
like
man.
that isn't that the plan?
Let's make the world a better place. It says it on the sign. Read the sign, y'all.
Did you read a lot?
Be honest, I don't.
No,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not a big reader.
Atomic Habits has a part where James Clear's talking about making a 1% change every day, and that like resonated with me when I started doing all this. And that's kind of like what's pushed me to here, is just making that consistent change every day, trying to be better than you were the day before, you know.
I think for me, the thing I've learned the most is like being better every day, and also being appreciative, being grateful and appreciate the things that you have, right? Because we always want. But about appreciating the fact that, like, you know, about morning routine, I appreciate every day I wake up, I'm grateful that I woke up.
Yeah, man.
Grateful that I have a roof over my head, that I'm able to look at you guys right now and use my voice to talk to you guys. There's little blessings that we take for granted, right? Because there's people that can't do that.
Yeah,
they're unable to do that,
Yeah.
right? So I think that when you appreciate life and you appreciate those basic blessings, like I call them, like essential blessings, when you appreciate those things, more blessings come your way. It opens up more doors for more things to happen. Like, you guys are right now starting off this podcast. You know, you're in your 13th episode, and you have created this space. The way you guys are going about it, I can only see bigger things for you guys and more blessings coming your way.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Because it's genuine,
that's
it's a
very
real,
nice,
and it's an honest space. And I feel like when you're doing that, that's what happens. You know what I mean? Like, it just happens without you even expecting it. Like, when I tell you the amount of things the blessings that have come my way, without me even asking for it, when I'm even expecting it, it just comes my way. Like, this is a blessing right here. I wasn't expecting
Yeah,
this.
this is a blessing for us too, man.
I didn't know if you were gonna say yes when I reached out,
It's a
man.
blessing. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
you just
blessing.
happened to, right? You just happened to like one of our posts,
You
right?
came up, yeah. You liked one. You saw one. Must have liked one of the
I was
posts.
like on a porch or something talking, like on one of your episodes, like you guys were talking and about mental health, and you were saying how you guys appreciate each other and how
Yeah.
you're grateful. And when I saw it, I'm like, what's this about, right? So I I clicked on it and I was like, that's dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, that's what we need more of. So like, it's just genuine and real, and I could tell it was real. So that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Like we always talk about that, like embracing that change aspect, because, and I know you think about this too, which is that, like, I mean, we look at just at this podcast, which is that, like, you know, 3 months ago we were this did not look like this. Like,
No,
it's
not
nuts
at
to
all.
us that we're sitting here with someone who, like, we never ever would have connected with you if we didn't
started
do
this.
this.
Right.
And then, like, to see that from where we were then, like, we just little changes every day. We got the episode a little bit better every day, and then look at I mean, this
way
is
better
pretty
than it
damn
used to be.
legit right now. This
Hell yeah.
it feels legit, like,
Nice.
and that's like to be able to, like, all right, maybe I don't notice a huge change today or tomorrow, but to, like, just keeping focused on that and being like, I know that there's
Grateful for
more
the
in
little
store.
changes coming.
Yeah. Also, that's another thing too, which is that, like, I like how you said, like, basic gratitude. Like, sometimes when I feel like overwhelmed or I'm trying to, you know, make sense of my life, I try to make my gratitude as little as possible, which is, like you said, I have eyes to see. Most people are like, you know, like, it's great to go through the whole gratitude thing, but to, like, break it down, like, I have a hand that I can hold this
Right.
microphone with. Like, when you get it that basic, then you realize, like, wow, I'm so blessed. Like, there's, you know, a lot of what we have, 80% of the world does not have,
Yeah.
and it's a true blessing. Like, and the fact that we get to sit here and even, like, I mean, in some other countries they don't even have the ability to talk about stuff
we're
like
talking
this.
about,
Like, you know, like,
Yes, it's you gotta be grateful, man. And that's one thing that I try to preach to people. When I don't try to come across too preachy, because then people don't listen.
Yeah, I know.
But I
feel you.
try my way to just, you know, talk about it in a way where it's, you know, it comes across as cool and, like, you know, but, like, it's so important to just be grateful. Like, I don't know if you guys ever had, like, a sports injury or anything like that. But,
I
like,
broke my arm pitching.
yeah, I tore my ACL, bro. So.
Broke my humerus in half.
Yeah, we both had serious ones.
How was that, like, not having one arm and having to use another
Yeah,
arm?
man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
you don't
grateful
realize.
for my left one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't realize it until you don't have it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh yeah, I have two arms, I have two legs. All right, try to run with one leg. Try to walk with one leg.
Yeah.
Try to do something with just one arm, like things that you're used to doing already. You know what I mean? So it's just
One eye, anything,
anything,
Yeah,
like
man.
anything. Like it's just like
Yeah.
you need to have an attitude of gratitude, and that's how you're able to just receive more blessings.
I'm way more grateful than I've ever been in my entire life, and like things that are like inspirational like get me. So like the Andrew Scholes thing you posted the other day, him and his dad,
Oh, my God,
bowling at 8:00 in the morning. But
Yes.
we went to the marathon on Sunday, and this dude with no legs, fucking just on the fucking spring
Wow.
thing, fucking booking it, and we were like at the last mile, and he looked like he was chilling. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot be upset at your life if that guy's got no legs and he's not sweating on the 25th mile of the
Right.
marathon. Like, be fucking grateful, you know?
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
It's true though. Like when you do the work on yourself, like things like that just really touch your heart different. You know what I mean? Like there's times I'm scrolling through reels and TikToks, and I'm like about like a tear's about to come on. I'm just like, bro.
Yeah.
But that's like, I mean,
It's so different now.
Yeah, like you said about that video, like the video was Andrew Scholes. He's headlining the Garden, and he always told his dad when he was a kid that he would headline it as a comedian.
Yeah.
And his dad like told him that it would happen, and it was like this one person who like also believed that it would happen, and that like makes me think like you break it down more that like we never would have been able to do this if we didn't convince each other
That we could
do it, and
Yeah.
that's why like that brings me back. It's so important to have like that
Yeah.
that support, and then it's so important to also like to give to that, to like tell somebody like you can do this, man.
Right, yeah.
Like you can be stronger. Like you can that to me is
That's so important.
yeah.
And that's what keeps you going. Like someone said, I forgot what I heard or read. I must have heard it because I don't really read like that. But so I heard someone say like most people's dreams die because they share it with somebody who killed their dreams. You know what I mean? Like they shared it with the wrong person. Like let's say you go like, I want to start a podcast about this, and the person goes, that's whack. Why are you doing that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you're not strong willed, or you don't have that like goal mentality, you'll just be like, why am I doing it? Why am I gonna do it? He's saying it's whack. Everybody's gonna think it's whack. Instead of being like, you say it to Jay's like, yeah, let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's start, let's do it. That's a different type. You know, like now whatever your dream may be, now you're able to pursue it instead of being like, and a lot of people's dreams get shot down by people that are just dream killers.
Yeah.
They're just not in the right place, state of mind.
Me and Nick were just talking about on the way down here. I was like, it was a great thing when we started doing this, and I feel like you probably feel this way too, which is that like when you approach somebody about like this idea, we knew immediately that, like I said, if somebody responded immediately with like, that's whack, it's not going to blow up, blah blah blah, okay, that's a great way for me to know exactly what your character's at. And then if we, like I said, we have friends and even people who we hadn't talked to in years who reached out and were like, dude, this is so awesome, I would never have the courage to do that, blah blah blah, whatever it was. And it's just like, it's a great way of seeing that, like how do you respond when somebody takes a chance? Because the reason that you're scared to make that thing is because like you're looking back at yourself and you're like, I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Or you know what I mean? I don't have the courage to do that. So the easiest way to do that is to be like, well, that's whack.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even about you, it's about them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even about the fact, it's not that they don't believe in you, they don't believe in themselves. So if they don't believe in themselves, how are they going to believe in somebody else? Like, that's the whole thing. If you don't believe, like, if someone doesn't believe in themselves, they can't believe in anybody else.
There's a great quote from The Sopranos that Christopher Moltisanti says, where he goes, a lot of times other people's definitions of you are more about themselves.
Yeah, that's a big thing, man. Because everybody's judging their own self. Like, we talk about that shit all the time. Self-judgment. Like, nobody cares about you because they're too busy worrying about themselves. So, like, if they're saying something negative to you, it's because they're so fucking pent up and worked up about themselves that, like, that's where it's coming from. Like, not that you can't do it, but, like, that they have something that they need to work through.
Yep.
Like, that's why we try and talk about it, to let people, like, it's a good to, like, talk through things and talk to them with your friends about them. Like, because that's the only, you got to find your support staff and you got to talk to them. That's the only way that things change in your life and in their life. And, like, the relationships that you can develop are so important from that. Because now you know who's really in your corner. You know what I mean?
I agree, 100%.
So, let's see what else we got here to ask you. We have a million questions, and we haven't really hit on any of them. Oh no, we did talk about a good amount of these, to be honest.
I've got one for you actually. If you've got, because you mentioned something before about like being preachy and stuff like that. And I hope that this isn't too personal of a question, but like, what is your relationship to like religion? Do you like, and how does that play into your mental health?
I mean, I would say I'm more like spiritual than religious.
Okay.
Amen.
Yeah, that's us. That's us too. Yeah.
My mom, she's super religious. Like she,
Yo, me too, bro.
like she goes to church like 2 times a week. You know, she's always praying for me. She's always like, you know what I'm saying? But I love that because again, there's nothing negative comes out of that for me when she talks to me about that. You know what I mean? But I think that I don't know. Growing up for me, just it's not that I just like religion. It was just something where it became, again, it was like a structure of something that it was like an extension of school almost to me. You know what I mean? Like it was going somewhere, something that, do I really want to go? Do I really want to be here? You know what I'm saying? Like I dropped out of Sunday school.
I never went, bro.
Bro, is that gonna be the name of your first album? That would honestly be a good title.
I dropped out of Sunday school. Like I just stopped going, and my, you know, like my pops was like, all right, like you don't want to go. Like after I told him, like he was like, okay, you know, like whatever. My mom was more like, oh, you know, like you should go. You know, you should go, trying to convince me, and she still tries to convince me to go to church with her. But like, I'm more of like I said, I'm more of a spiritual kind of person. I just feel like you should lead with love, no matter what your religion is or what you believe in. Yeah. That should be the root of everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think what sometimes turns me off when it comes to religion is someone that's telling me if you're religious and then you're not leading with love, then what you about?
Yeah. That's for the spiritual stuff too.
That's crazy, man. Like I grew up in a very similar dynamic. Like my dad was very easygoing about that stuff, and my mom was very. And I used to have a very negative relationship towards it. And I don't obviously necessarily agree with a lot of it, but then I just realized that like how I get through the day with my spiritual practices, that's her version of it.
Right.
Yeah. And like once I started looking at it like that, I was like, okay, like I don't have to have any pressure to be some type of way, but like if that's what gets you through the day, like it's not hurting anybody, you know what I mean? Right. Then you start to discover that like they're all, in my opinion, like they're all kind of like the same. Yeah. They're all leading towards the same point, which is spread love.
There's a quote that like Mike says, and it's like, when you pray, it's you talking to God, and like when you meditate, it's you like talking to the universe. So like I feel like for me, like that's what I do now. Like when I meditate, I'm just putting my affirmations out there, and the universe answers me. Somebody else might look at it and be like, "You're talking to God," and like that's your perspective of it. But like, I mean, now I'm a lot more open to everything. I had no religion in my life. Now I read about the Tao and shit all the time. Like I'm very into it. Yeah. So
yeah, you declared yourself a Buddhist on the episode I interviewed you. So you gotta, you're stuck into that, bro. You can't.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's not, like I said, not a bad choice.
A lot better than it was before.
but I respect it all. Like I said, it's just about like as long as you're not hurting anybody or you're not doing anything causing harm to anybody or in that kind of way, then like. I don't hold no type of resentments over that.
That's kind of what when we started doing this too, and I'm sure you kind of felt this way when you started like going out with the signs and spreading awareness, which is that if my heart is in the right place and my intention is going towards something good and spreading love, I'm really not worried about anybody judging me. Yeah. Like nothing really, like I said, like what bad could come from having you on this podcast or doing anything that like we do around this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's a great way too to like, because I do feel like that's carried over into our lives outside of this.
Like we always say, like the main point of this podcast are like our intention. The intention that we put out is to help people. Because like I know, where you were, I know where I was, he knows where he was. Like that's not a fun place to be at. And it's like sometimes you probably think that it's always going to be like that, but it doesn't have to be. And like if we can help one person, like with this episode, if this episode helps one person, we did our fucking jobs. Yeah. We came, had a good conversation. One person benefited from it. Thank you. Grateful for that.
I agree 100%. And one thing that I learned when I was attending the men's group on Zoom was like what we're doing is planting seeds. All right, and seeds of like for the future, like things that we may not see now, right? When it comes to like manhood and men and our mental health, but these are things that in the future, like generations to come, they'll be more open to having these kind of conversations because we were able to break certain cycles and spark those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, even if there's one person that watches this, and that's what I say all the time. Like when I go on the bridge, I'm like, it'd be just one person. There's people that come up to me and give me a hug, show me love, all that good stuff. there's a lot more that just walk by me like I don't exist, and I'm standing there.
Have you ever had a day that was just a dud?
Nah,
Somebody's got
it's always at least one person.
That's
At least
good.
one person.
See, and like that's the mission though.
Right,
you know?
I'm cool with that. Like, because I don't judge it on how many people come up to me or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because even the person that may walk past me and not say one thing, they saw it.
Yeah,
like they saw it.
100%.
They saw it, and maybe you don't have to say anything to me, but you saw it, and maybe you were going through something, and maybe as you walk past me, maybe you're able to just keep that in your head, and maybe you'll get through that tough moment or tough day you're going through, or whatever it is that you're going through. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. But I think that it's definitely important to keep that in mind when you're doing this work. Is like, because sometimes I know people may feel like, oh, like views or the listens or like the play, like, you know, like they judge the metrics. I understand that, but at the end of the day, like, when you're doing it for genuine and you're doing it for work, if it's one person, I tell people all the time, the people that want to get into mental health and advocate, I'm like, listen, if you're looking at it as how many people like your stuff or view your stuff, whatever, then you're starting off the wrong place.
Yeah.
You're getting off at the wrong foot. 'Cause it's not about that. That's not what it should be about. It should be about just reaching people. If it's one person that DMs me like, yo, Jose, I saw your song, bro, and it really impacted me. Da 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 da. Beautiful. I love that. That was the purpose of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But I think sometimes people just get it. You know, social media just got people caught up and thinking things just, you know how it is.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like,
everybody's want to go viral.
have you had any like specific instances on the bridge, like really cool interactions with people?
Yeah, man, I've had so many cool interactions, man, and it's just.
Is there any particular one that like stood out that really confirmed that you were doing the right thing and you were in the right place?
I'm gonna share one. I went to, because I've gone to also different cities with my sign. Like,
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, but you want to talk? I'll talk about it right now if y'all want.
Yeah,
get
let's
into it.
you do the World Needs Love tour.
Yeah, so it's the World Needs Love tour, created and founded by me, yours truly. I started it last about a year and a half. September 2022, I would say, is when I started everything. And I've been to obviously the Brooklyn Bridge, Philadelphia, the Rocky Steps. I stood on the Rocky Steps with my sign. Miami. I've gone to Charlotte. And I'm going to LA actually at the end of November, early December. I'll be in LA. But the World Need Love Tour is really a mental health movement. It's really a spreading love movement. It's to inspire other people to just spread love and raise mental health awareness. You know, I don't look for anything else but just people to be inspired and to share the message. You know, when I'm standing on the bridge, people offer me money sometimes. You know, like they think I'm like. It's just free love. Like I don't need.
Is that like they think you're? They don't think you're homeless.
No,
or do they just assume?
Just fresh right now.
They assume the sign.
I'm just saying, like, usually I'm on the bridge with my Nikes on. Like I'm looking like I'm not looking like that.
Like, yeah, take $5, kid. Yeah.
I'm not here for that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's free love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, if you want, you can take a picture of it and share it with somebody, or you know, take a, you know, like, remember the words I tell them. You know. But I think for me, one of the most memorable moments on the World's Need Love tour was when I was in Philadelphia. There was a woman with her husband, and she was like staring at me like for like, I'm gonna say like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, just looking at me, but like looking away, then looking at me, looking away, then looking at me. You know, so I put the sign down. I walked towards her, and I was like, "Hey, you know, what's up?" And she was like, I couldn't tell from where I was standing, but she had like tears in her eyes. And she was like, you know, like 20 years ago, she lost her son to suicide. Like he took his life. So she just said that, you know, she was like, I wish that, you know, like he would have seen something like this before he, you know, that happened, or like, you know, like people talked about this more, you know what I'm saying? So like she cried, I cried, we had a moment, you know what I'm saying? I gave her a hug. And
I'm about to cry right now, bro.
You know, like it was 20 years ago, and you can still see the impact that it had on her. You know what I'm saying? As a mother losing her son that way, especially, you know what I mean? Like, so that was probably one of the most like touching moments that I've had with somebody while holding up my sign. I have plenty of moments on the Brooklyn Bridge as well. You know, people come up to me and share their stories with me. They tell me they needed to see this. They tell me a lot of sometimes their personal stuff, which is sometimes why I also take breaks from going on the bridge, because I also need time to kind of like it's a lot of information. It's like it's a lot.
You're taking a lot of
I'm taking a lot of stuff. You know, like people just telling me things, which is cool. Like I put myself out there for that.
Yeah.
So I expect
You need to recharge.
but I also need to recharge. You know what I mean? Like and get myself right because I have my own stuff too, my own life too. You know.
Mm-hmm. What do you do to like clean your energy? Like when you're on your downtime, what do you do?
Honestly, I write. Either I write or I like do like these workouts at home.
I'm big on working out at home too, man.
Like these baby workouts I be doing at home, but like they just keep me energized. They recharge me. Like they get me back. And like I said, sometimes it's draining. Like being on the Brooklyn Bridge, like especially like during the summer where I'm there more often because of the weather's nice. Sometimes I go multiple times during the week. But there's sometimes I need just to take a break because it can be draining, and depending on like what people tell me about stuff going on, you know, like people, I think it's cool. People find it like so comfortable and open to talk to me. Like I think that's cool. I think that's just the personality that I give off. You know, when people come up to me and they talk to me, like it's cool. But at the same time, like I said, I just need some time for myself as well to just recharge and get myself back going.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is like when you unload on somebody, there's a lot of energy transferring, and like it's good that you have that openness, like you're willing to take it in. But it is like what we're talking about is self-care, and that's a perfect example of it. You like reaching out, helping other people, and then you know when you need your own time. You know, like that's big. That's a part of growing up. Like
facts.
You can't give if you got nothing in the tank.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the thing from the monk who sold us Ferrari about how like you gotta empty out your own cup first, right? Before you allow room for everybody else to pour in. Yeah, when you're inviting in, like, I mean it's beautiful, but like with the signs you're holding up and the message that you have, you're inviting in somebody to talk about their struggle, or like you said, like my son killed himself.
You never know how
took his own life. But like I mean you think about it in the same way that like, you know, somebody who works in like a hospital or something like that, it's just like you're always surrounded by all these things, and you have to like you can be, you know, if you don't have the awareness to say that like, damn, that drained me. People were.
But I appreciate everyone that checks in on me too. Like a lot of people check in on me. You know, like they always remind me that same quote y'all just said about make sure your glass is full before you pour into others. They say make sure you're good. You know, like people know, so I appreciate that. And I think that I've kind of built a community. You know, there's people that I don't even know, that I've never met, you know what I'm saying, that have just shown me so much love from all over the place. Canada, Italy, like just all over the world.
How can you not get behind like the world needs love? Like who's gonna be like no? Like who's gonna disagree with that?
There are some. I just don't give them that. I just don't give them no. This morning there was somebody that just reposted something and was like a curse on this, right?
Yeah, go for it. Right. Yeah, bro. Explicit at the beginning of everything.
No, I don't really curse like that, but I'm gonna tell you what it said. It said one, like underneath, it was like me holding up the sign, and on the thing it said, 1, this dude looks like a fuck boy. 2, why does he have the puppy face? Why does he have the puppy face? Like he's looking for sympathy. 3, the 85 men that took their lives in that week. You know, it was a sign that said 85 men. It was a stat of men's suicide. 85 men, they probably owe child support. So
damn.
So they don't need to share our air. And the last thing was like, well, if the more men are gone, I guess that's good for feminism, right?
Well, Jesus Christ, man! People are fucking whack.
Wow, they took out like their whole childhood trauma on you, bro.
I even took a screenshot of it.
That's fucking.
Did you respond to it? Did you say something?
Hell no.
I was gonna say like,
you can't say nothing to that.
Oh, they like
Jesus Christ.
Wow. I was gonna say like, did you like? I hope you find some love in your life because you need it.
Yeah,
Jesus.
100%. That person.
that's wow.
We have not seen that. I did come across some people disliked the video on you. I didn't know you could like and dislike on YouTube. Somebody was like thumbs down. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, like stuff like that. You know, like there's people like that. They're just again, it's not even about me. It's about them. They have their own things going on, and they're just taking it out on whatever they see and whatever it is. But
that's crazy hate,
the world
bro.
needs love, but not everybody's ready for that.
Not everybody is at all,
man. So, man, what you're going to LA at the end of November, beginning of December?
Yeah.
So what's the plans for the tour out there?
For the tour out there, I'm planning to hit different spots. I've connected with a few organizations out there, which I love to do when I go to different cities, just so I could check in with them, let them know that I'll be in town in case they got any events going on or anything like that. But I'm just planning to hit the hot spots out there. You know, I'm planning to go where the stars are, the Hollywood stars. I'm holding my son up over there. Me and my friend, she's a photographer. We have like plans, different places we're gonna hit up.
Nice.
But yeah, it's gonna be like 4 or 5 days. We're gonna be out there, and we're gonna spread love, and raise some mental health awareness on the West Coast, because I haven't been out there yet.
Do you have any like specific places that you're gonna go to? Like exactly?
Yeah,
like in LA?
definitely the Hollywood, like the stars. I think like where the Hollywood sign is at.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fire.
Like where the Hollywood sign is at. There's and Venice Beach.
Venice Beach.
Oh, you know, it'd be a good one too. Is what do they call it? Oh, like the dog has broken loose. It's okay, sweetie. Yeah. Damn, bro. It's okay.
I knew it was gonna happen. It was only a matter of time. Once the dog started barking, I saw she went like this. Once the dog started barking, her neck. Well, she was like that. She was calm, and then the dog started barking.
Jose is allergic to dogs. That's why we're keeping him.
We're really gonna have to edit like a video.
I appreciate you guys for that thought, because I would have an asthma attack or something.
Yeah, bro. No. We can't be. I'm mad allergic to cats, actually.
Oh, yeah,
so
same.
like when I go over to my buddy's house, I'm like, the cat's got to go upstairs, man.
I'm
Like,
cats
it
and
can't be-
dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn. So what could you get as a pet then?
a fish.
All the things I do, all the things I say, all the times I took a chance, all of the mistakes I made, none of it matters. None of it matters at all.
You know what I'm saying?
All the things I do, all the things I
So you're talking about going to LA and like being out there, reaching out to organizations. What organizations have you worked with around here? Do you have some that you like recommend to people and stuff? Like I saw on your Instagram like going to schools and shit. Like,
Oh yeah, so first off, when it comes to going to schools, like I've gone to different schools to talk to kids about mental health. You know, I'm not a mental health professional, I'm a mental health advocate. So, but I'm not going around diagnosing kids or anything like that. I'm just kind of giving like just life advice and just kind of stressing the importance of taking care of themselves. I feel like schools in a way have kind of gone away from that. They're so focused on like English and math and stuff that we don't use as adults anymore.
Yes,
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, we're writers, so the English ain't so bad.
Right,
But
but,
like I can do without the math for
like,
sure.
Outside of basic math, what kind of math are we really using? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
yeah.
but
The only math, in fact, that they don't teach in schools is percentages to like tip people properly.
Yeah.
That's the only.
That's something
I'm
that
convinced that's the
matters.
only
Yeah.
math people can't do, right?
that's something that actually matters. But it's been dope going to different schools and talking to kids. You know, I've had a few educators reach out. I'm going to be setting something up and visiting more schools in 2024
Nice.
as the school year goes on. So anybody out there who wants me, you know, to visit their school, again, the conversation changes depending on what grade it is. You know, it's not I don't talk to fifth graders the same way I would talk to a ninth grader about mental health, because it's two different age levels.
I'll talk to fifth graders. 12-year-olds are fucking scared of me.
They're the meanest people on the planet.
Really? I wouldn't talk to
No, I'm kidding. They could be though. They could be like. You remember what bullies were like when we were like 12 years old? Like
That's true.
kids are
Point out the
ruthless.
real shit.
Kids are ruthless. Yeah.
I think the key with the kids though is like if you show up as yourself, like if I were to show up like this, they would look at me like, "Who's this guy?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like instead of me showing up like in a suit or something, they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Who's this bozo?"
Where's the time?
What are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I think that when it comes to kids, especially like perception and how they connect with you is so important, right? So like, that's something that definitely. Like I was saying, if anybody out there is an educator wants me to go talk to their students or anything like that, you can reach out to me. I'm sure the information will be attached to the episode.
Yeah.
But as far as organizations I work with, the biggest one is NAMI, NAMI. It's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. And they're all over the country. So every state, almost every city has their own NAMI kind of charter, like where people can go to. Here in New York City, we have one. It's probably one of the biggest ones because we have so many people here in New York City. But like for example, like California, they have such a big ass state that they have like for every different city, county. They have all that. So anybody who's interested in that, you could reach out to NAMI. It's NAMI. And they have like different events going on. You can always check in with them. Support. They'll send you the right way when it comes to resources. I've also worked with the AmeriCorps, which is also it's a government agency. That's also a place where you're able to volunteer and do things for your community to help uplift your community in different ways. For anybody who's interested in doing that too. Just because a lot of the work that I do is mental health work, but it's also community work. I don't get paid to do it. I do it because I want to do it from my heart. But also other opportunities can come out of that.
Yeah.
As you volunteer, you know what I mean? Like, so it's very important for anybody out there that just is interested in making a difference and making a change to contact sometimes. Just look into your own neighborhoods and your own city where you live at and check and see what's going on. We have our phones and we have the internet now, so it's just easy to just look up to see, reach out, send an email, show up and talk to somebody and have that. And if you need support, I would say, there's mental health professionals everywhere. I guess look in your area and see somebody that, I know therapy is not for everybody. But there's different forms of therapy. It could be a men's group if you're a dude and you need somebody, like a group. If you're more comfortable that way, you don't have to talk. You can just be an active listener in that men's group too. You don't have to speak. You just listen. There's different options. We just have to look into them and see what's going on. I do want to say something though about mental health professionals real quick, just because.
Sure. Go for it, man. Real quick. It's the platform.
Go crazy.
I appreciate anybody who works with mental health. I know it's a lot going on. I just want to say that because there's been people that have made comments and reached out. As far as mental health advocates go and mental health professionals, I know it's two different things. We're just advocating, but at the end of the day, like mental health professionals shouldn't throw shade at advocates. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to support what you're doing.
Yeah.
If anything, we should be working hand in hand with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to take away from what you guys do. We understand you went to school for this. You got a degree. You did all that stuff, that good stuff to make the world a better place too. But I think that sometimes like there's a little bit of like, well, you should go see a professional. I'm not trying to diagnose anybody. I'm not giving anybody no professional advice.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my experiences, life advice. That's what I'm giving you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, no, I mean, you bring up a good point too, which is that like there's a lot of mental health professionals who approach what we're doing in a very different way, which is just like throwing whatever drug at somebody.
Right.
Yeah,
and, like,
that is not
as we can see in this country right now, that really hasn't done anything like positively for us. I go to therapy, so I'm a firm believer in it. I love like the way that you can have that, I guess, like soundboard or whatever you want to call it, but like it's amazing to me that somebody would like when your message is the same.
Yeah,
it's literally exactly the same.
Yeah, I just feel like it should be like a hand in
fact,
hand.
like someone can make the argument that like your message is better because you're trying to do it for everybody versus like the therapist
one
just trying
person at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
For pay.
I just think that it should be something like hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be like a team effort. If anything, you know what I'm saying? Like we're advocating. Like I said, anybody out there who's open to therapy, you should definitely look into that. You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to give a shout out to the mental health professionals.
Sure. Do you have any experience with going to therapy?
Yeah, I've attended therapy.
What did you think of it?
It was good for the moment. I felt like for me I'm do better with when it comes to groups.
Okay.
Like I know there's group therapy as well, but I think that one-on-one talking with somebody wasn't really my thing at that particular moment in my life. For me, it's more about I'm more comfortable in a men's group where I feel like we're just able to bounce off each other and just speak about like life experiences to me. Yeah. And I think that again, I like kind of like what you said, Steve. Like we all hear what works for people, right? Like I could tell you like this is my routine, this is what works for me. It doesn't mean it's gonna work exactly for you. Yeah. But maybe out of something that I said, something may come out of that may work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I think sometimes people say like, oh, well he does this, that, and the third, so I'm gonna do exactly what he does, this, that, and the third.
That ain't it for you, man.
That's not what it is.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It's about you finding yourself and what works for you. Like I go for a walk, see what works for you. Maybe going for a jog works for you instead of going for a walk. I hate jogging. Like I like playing sports, but I hate just jogging around, walking. I can't run around a block just for no reason. You know, like it's just not.
He's a runner. I'm not.
I run all the time.
Yeah, I'm not a runner. Like to me, like we're playing a game, playing football, I'm running up and down the field, running the court. But when it comes to just like I'm more of a walker. I'd rather just walk. Yeah. take my time, pace, like that. And whatever works for you is what works for you. I think that's the most important thing, because sometimes people listen to people's like advice and they say, well, I'm going to try exactly what Steve said.
Yeah, copy it word for word. It doesn't work.
That's not how it is. You got to find yourself. We're all different people.
Yeah.
We're all different.
Like we always say that too, like, because we a lot of suggestions. We are very suggestive of what to try. But like, I am also the type of person that if you tell me you should, I automatically, once I hear should, I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. I don't need to be doing what you're telling me to do. Like,
I should not be listening to you.
Yeah, that's like,
but we're very big on like, hey, give it a shot. Like if it's in your zone and it's something you're comfortable with, like I read all the time. Reading has been huge for me. So like I'm always suggesting books. Like, and you might like, there's books like I read that like, I'm sure me and you took different and similar things from The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. The same with the Living Untethered Soul. Like, there's things that resonate with you. Like you don't read, but the one chapter that I read today like resonated with you. Like it's all about suggestions and finding out what works best for you, because like that at the end of the day is what we're trying to push, is you having a better life because you took the steps to do something about it. Like this podcast, us talking, is just a conversation to try and get you into that mindset, like to click that together for you. Like maybe it's not so bad if I try these things. Maybe if I'm a little bit more grateful when I wake up in the morning, like the day won't be so bad. Like, right. I mean, those are all things that I saw and they've worked for me. So like, why not give it a shot? What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. Like, and I think like, especially because I've been at this for a little while now, which is that like, there's so much self-discovery in finding out what works for you, because then like, there's that like really joyous moment where you're like, oh,
this is clicking.
Wait, it clicks that like, oh, okay, it makes more sense for me to do this after that, or it makes more like. I feel like the best place that you can probably start is to start like with when you're feeling overwhelmed, or whatever it is that feeling is, overthinking, anything like that. Which is that like if you can catch yourself in that moment and like do something for yourself there that you feel like helps you, and like obviously maybe the first thing you try isn't going to work. But taking a deep breath never hurt nobody.
Right.
Yeah. Like to just like take a second, like you said, and then it's like, okay, like maybe sitting down and meditating for 10 minutes doesn't work for you, but maybe going to a men's group does. Or maybe like reading a book is your version of meditating, or maybe your version of meditating is sitting down with your breakfast, not in front of the TV. Yeah. There's we all don't even like, there's so many things that we don't do mindfully.
Yeah.
And then like somebody tells you like, well, what do you do for your routine? Nobody knows what the fuck they do.
Yeah. 100%, man. It's
right?
so
like,
true.
And it's like being able to have like, I kind of feel like that self-awareness is one of the first steps you can take towards like, and then maybe the best place for you to start isn't when you're super angry or overwhelmed, but if if you're in a really good place, maybe you can take stock of that at the moment. Yeah. Maybe you spend so much time thinking about negative stuff that like you don't take the time to be like, oh wow, that was a really nice moment, or that was a real, I had lunch with my dad, that was a really nice moment, or whatever like that. We're always like, we're looking to solve the next problem versus like appreciating that moment. Yeah, exactly. And taking that, I mean, realistically, and we're also kind of talking about taking time for yourself. Yeah. And taking that time to nurture what feels good for you and what makes you feel like you can bring your whole self, your authentic self, to the world.
So true.
So like let's talk about some mental health. Like how are your emotions? What's your relationship with your emotions? Can you, like, when something starts to come up, you feel agitated, you feel like you have a strong emotion coming on, like what are ways that you sit back and like realize that, and like how do you go forward from there? Like if you're put in a situation that makes you anxious or angry or anything, any range of emotion, when you feel that you've been triggered, like what do you do to step back?
The first thing I do is I tell myself is slow down. That's the first thing I tell myself is slow down, because right away your heart starts racing, right away your brain starts going crazy. You feel like you gotta start moving. Like at least that's what happens to me. Like my legs start shaking, my heart starts racing. I tell myself, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. I'll just take some time, some deep breaths. If I'm in a place where I could go, like if I were here, I would go to the bathroom, just look at myself in the mirror. Jose, slow down. You got this. Self-talk.
it's just a podcast, right?
Right.
That's a big one. Have you ever seen that clip of Shia LaBeouf? It's from the interview with John Bernthal when he was talking.
Yeah, I have seen
the
that.
thing that got him into his head, like the way he had been fucked up for so long, like the first time that he really like clicked in therapy, some guy stood in front of him and he's like, be here right now, right, and just kept saying it to him. And he was like freaking out at first, like, get the fuck out of my face. And then he just listened for a second and like, you catch yourself.
Yeah.
That's so big.
Yeah, so that's really what I do. And sometimes, like, if I'm in a public place, I don't really do it out loud, but I'll do it, like, in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll find an area where I'm just, like, let me slow down. Like, because I think that we're so used to, like, if it's a problem, we want to find a solution right away, right? If there's something going on, I got to make it happen. So I think it's so important to slow down. And that, for me, is the biggest thing, because I feel like I'm a high-energy person. Like, when you see me low energy or tired, you're like, yo, Jose's sick. It's something away. It's something wrong with him, because he's usually high. Like, I'm just high energy. Like I could walk. Like, you tell me, I could walk to Brooklyn right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much energy I have. Like, if you tell me, yo, I challenge you to walk to Brooklyn, I will walk. I'll take my signs and I'll walk to Brooklyn with my backpack, and I might get there like tonight or whatever. But I'll get there and I'll walk to Brooklyn. Like, that's how much energy I have. Like, that's just me. But I just remind myself to slow down and, like, remind myself, like, a lot of things that we worry about, things that are out of our control, right? And I remind myself every morning, that's part of my morning routine, is to remind myself, Jose, focus on what you can control, and the things that you can't control, that's gonna take care of it. That's gonna take care of itself on its own. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you have a job and you work there, people call out of work. You can't control that. You control how you react to it. That's in your control now, right? You're gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be a bad day. 20 people called out and be running around like a lunatic. Yeah, you might be a little busier than you are usual, but at the same time, like, the world's not gonna end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not, and it's also like
true.
And this is something that everybody struggles with, that I don't think is ever solved, but is that, like, the energy that you put into worrying about something that is out of your control is, pardon my French, fucking useless.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that you can do about, like I said, and when you really break it down into, like, the smaller things, like, that you can't control, and it's just like, okay, well, like, let me take grasp of what I can do, like, in this moment. And then I feel like once you get a good relationship between what you can and can't control, that gives you, even though, like, you're limited, I feel like it gives you so much freedom, because now you have this definition of, like, I know that, like, if I'm having a bad day or somebody's giving me a hard time, whatever, I know that I can go into my own head and meditate for 5 minutes and I'll feel better. Yeah. But there's nothing you can do about the guy who cuts you off on the way down to work or whatever it might be. Like,
most of the things that worry us are things that are out of our control and things that haven't even happened yet.
Yeah.
Those are the things that worry us the most.
We're all in our heads worrying about, like, some mistake we already made, right? Or we're in our heads worried about something that might happen in the future, whether it's our mistake or not is really irrelevant. Like, it's out of your control.
So I think for me, my mental health, to go back to your question, Steve, to your question as far as, like, my mental health, that's exactly how I just go to it. Like, that's how I look into things, as far as, like, look forward to things. I don't try to get too ahead of it. Like, today, coming here on the train, right? I told you, I was like, the MTA is going to be the MTA, so I'm going to get there. I told you, I'm going to get here. It's going to be what's going to be, but, like, I'm not going to make myself crazy about, the N train might not be running this way, or, like, the Q train might go that way. I'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'll get there when I get there. You know what I mean? Like, I give myself time to get here, and I'll get there. And that's how I just go. When I wake up in the morning, I tell myself, today's going to be a good day. Some things might happen. Some bad things might happen, or negative things might happen throughout the day. But overall, today's going to be a good day. Because when those things then happen, I'm like, yeah, I knew something was going to happen, because this is life. Not every day is going to be a perfect or great day. But at the same time, it's like, you're able to not attack, but you're able to just to get through those moments a little easier, when you not just expect them, but you know that there's a possibility that they might happen. But you also don't worry about it. Like, you know it's there, but you don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the universe conspires for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's never against you. You just got to let it play out.
Yeah. And that's a good point too, which is that, what was I going to say? Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
Oh,
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, like
We made it this far into the podcast doing that. Like, usually that happens at like 20 minutes.
But who thought we'd be here though?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we'd be here.
Oh, God, man. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
breath.
yeah. Okay, I remember what I was going to say.
Damn,
That-
that worked.
Yeah, that did work. That did work. Yeah.
It worked.
Which is that what I was going to say is that we can kind of always assume that something will go wrong, but figuring out what it will be is useless for all of us. Like, but it's just kind of like assuming, like I said it on the way down here to Nick, which is that like we can kind of just assume that at some point we're going to hit traffic, and then at some point someone's going to honk at me for no fucking reason. Like these things are just going to happen.
Right.
Like there's nothing that like we can do about it. Like we don't know where, we don't know, but like, you always know that like life is never going to go as you plan it.
Right.
That's kind of like a base principle. But then like if you're trying to like have this like chokehold on what's going to happen and what's not going to happen when there's 7 or is it 8 billion now other people on this earth who could impact that?
Come on now.
Come on, man. Yeah, man. You're just a corpse walking around, bro.
Just a meat suit, man.
Yeah, just a meat suit. I'm just a skin bag filled with remotes, bro.
We're all spiritual beings having a human experience in this meat suit. Take care of it.
Oh, man.
Take care of your meat suit, Jose. Oh no, go ahead, please.
No, go.
I was gonna say, both of us have had, and what definitely brought us to doing this podcast is we've both struggled with like substance abuse and alcoholism. Have you, or any of the people surrounding you closely, have you had any experience dealing with stuff like that?
I would say like my family. Like I would say I feel like I see my father and my uncles go through their struggles. I think that kind of turned me off from kind of like drinking also. Like I'm more of like
Do
like,
you drink?
I only drink like if I'm
Socially?
like socially, yeah.
okay.
Like that's the only time that I drink. And there was a time in my life when I would never drink. Like I was so into sports and just playing sports that I wasn't even interested in doing any of that stuff. But I'll be honest, like I feel like alcohol had a negative impact on my family as far as like seeing my uncle, seeing my father, go through that, and it kind of turned me off from just alcohol, period. You know what I mean? Like, just because I felt like it just had that negative impact, seeing how it impacted my cousins and other people in my family that I love. So I never was really like, I never had that feeling. See, I was the kind of kid, I didn't even want to smoke a cigarette. You feel me? Like I never.
It's always amazing to me how like some people, like if your family is like that, they just get fully wrapped up in it, and then other people, it's like, I'll never be like
just
that.
so turned off by it. You feel me? Like it was just like so turned off.
Never
by
wanted a cigarette.
Like I never even.
I
like,
mean, yeah, no, I get that.
like it just so turned off by it. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I've gotten lit before. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. Like, but like,
all right, well, now that we're bragging, no, I'm just kidding.
but
No, I'm just playing.
but it's something. It's not something like that. I feel like I feel like I needed to do or had to do. You know what I mean? Like I was always cool with going out. Everybody's having drinks. I'm cool with having like a one drink. And that's cool. And
God, I wish I was you, man.
Vibes.
I do things until you can't do them anymore. Like that's just how I am. It ended with me though. Like I'm the last one in my family that'll be like that. That was like one of the things that I
proud
fucking
of you too,
that
bro.
I was like very adamant on when I stopped drinking, because like it's very accepted in my family. Like my dad drinks every day, not like wasted, like has like a beer or two.
Yeah.
It's just something that like I've always seen. Like my brother drinks, and then like working in a restaurant, it's like so accepted. But for me, like that's no mas.
That's what's up, man.
But it took a long time to get there. You know what I mean? Like you have to figure it out on your own. But like it's good that you have like that was your reaction to seeing it around. Like it's very fun to not be hungover, man. I fucking love it. So like you've gone your whole life like that. God bless you.
How old were you when you like really decided that? Was it like before you started drinking?
I felt like I was a kid.
Oh, so you were just like when I'm old enough to do it, I still
I
won't
was
do
a
it.
kid. Like I remember smelling my dad's breath, my uncle's breath, like on a weekday type stuff, and I was be like, "Come on now," you feel me? Like it's like Thursday. It's like Thursday now. I'm home from school. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like I don't know. Like I was turned off by it. Like it was just like I felt like it affected our relationship in a negative way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like he wasn't fully, and he was going through his own stuff, which is probably why he was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I that's why I forgave him, you know, like when I got older. But Yeah, that's why I was so turned off by it.
Okay.
Yeah, recognizing that your parents are human
Yeah.
is
Hell
part of
yeah,
being an
man.
adult, and that shit is hard, bro.
Hell yeah.
I feel like when you're
I
in like
forgave
your
my
early
dad.
20s.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I feel like when you're in your early 20s, like you start to like realize stuff about yourself, and it can be very easy to like point the finger, and like. Sometimes, like I said, everybody has different experiences and there's levels to it, but that's just like, for the most part, all of our parents were doing the best that they could. You know what I mean? And they were trying to get through
all
their
you can-
stuff. And like,
live
you
in
got to
life-
be able to.
They live in life for the first time too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's what it is.
But even when they're having a second kid, that's their first time having two kids at one time.
Everything we're all going through life everything we're doing is first. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think about it, like it's not your first episode, but it's your first episode with me.
Yeah, true. True.
100%, man.
This is true.
100%.
Yeah. This is very true.
No drinking. Do you so for me, like you were talking about like your relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
For me, I started forgiving my parents because of mushrooms. I just like was walking around after like microdose. It probably was like closer to macrodose.
So dosing.
But like I was just like listening to Alan Watts, and like I love like philosophy. I like really like it. So like listening to his like speeches and stuff is always like something for me. And then he talked about like how our parents and like their parents, it's just like generational, like this is the flow of everything. And like you can't be mad at like your parents for raising you the way they did, because that's like how they thought, like
Yeah, that's what
they're
they
going
know.
through it the first time. So like that like helped me. I listened to that and I was just like, oh man, like they fucking care. They're just going through their own shit too. And it clicked with me. Have you ever done like, do you use psychedelics? Have you ever like done psilocybin or like anything?
I had shrooms one time. Never again.
Really?
Okay. No, because I just felt really nauseous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's food poisoning at the beginning.
Like, I felt really nauseous. I just like didn't like the feeling, so I was like, yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Are you open to like any other type of ones? Like, not even saying that you've done them before, but like, are you open to other forms of like expanding your mind, or is like this what gets you high? You know what I'm saying?
No, like I'll have an edible here and there, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like for the most part, like I said, I'm just a high energy person. So like I'm just high off life most of the time.
Really?
like I know it sounds like
No.
like foolish.
No,
it's not, bro. It's
like we
not.
said, to each his own, man.
But
Everybody's on this. On their
but I
own.
just feel like sometimes, I just feel like it all depends. Like if my boys are hanging out, and we have that kind of night, then you know what I'm saying, then that's what it is. But like for the most part, it's just chill, just vibes, and just trying to keep my mind right.
Yeah. So with that being said, you definitely have a very good connection to your mind, because there's nothing fogging it up.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, we've even cultivated a different relationship. Like
Yeah.
we used to, because like we did mushrooms when we were younger, and we had bad trips, and
Awful.
it fucked
I
us
hate
up.
it.
Really? Yeah. No. He yours was
like.
he like couldn't find the light switch in the room type of bad trip.
God.
Remember that?
He still, to me,
Yeah.
like I'm like still developing my relationship with psilocybin a little bit more and more here and there. Like for me, I still say no right away. Anytime it's offered to me, he says, "You want to do mushrooms today?" I'm like, "Nope." And then I have to like be like, "Why are you saying no?" Because you had a bad experience once. It's not, we're in a different mindset. Like things are easier. I have to like talk myself into it, which is kind of crazy, because it's never since I've like, so now that there's nothing going on like crazy in here. Like when I'm doing mushrooms, the mushroom entity is not like this fucking psychopath. He's just like, "Wow, it's nice here." Like, you're a peaceful person. You know?
The intention is big. The intention is big. Like and being like, I think going into it with not being like, I want to get fucked up, versus being like, I want to learn something about myself or about my world.
Definitely.
Or whatever
See,
it
that's
is.
a whole
And
different
most people
thing,
do it
too.
wrong. They're like, you're doing shrooms and then you're going to the club.
Yeah.
Bro, you got to do shrooms and go sit by the stream.
Exactly.
Chill out. Yeah, man.
be
Put
in
your bare
nature.
feet on the ground or something. Like that's just. I mean, and I'm sure that maybe that works for some, but I don't think that you're getting out of it what you could be
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you're using it as like. I always say that like if you're using it as an escape, then that's when it starts to become.
Yeah,
a
that's
problem.
when it's really a thing, and I think unfortunately that's what a lot of people use it for. Like when it comes to those kind of things, like when it comes to substances, they use it to mask whatever that they're going through and hide from their real true feelings to get away from stuff. But if you're doing it just to explore and to see where it takes your mind, that's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, and I mean, we're finding out. We smoke weed too, so like,
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe.
yeah, but like we're learning to have like a different relationship with it. That is not
everything.
always just like, I'm bored, let's get high.
Yeah.
How about I'm bored, let's go for a walk? Or,
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe when we get back, we can get high.
Yeah, right. Let's go for a walk first, and then we'll see how we feeling.
Yeah. But like, it shouldn't be the first thing that you like. I feel like for a while, for me, weed at the very least was something I always turned to in highs and lows. So, and then like when it's just like, oh, okay, something could happen, let's smoke a blunt about it.
Yeah.
And then when your same reaction is that like, damn, like I broke up with my girl,
Let's
smoke a blunt about it. Like, I feel like if it's the same solution on both ends, like that's not always that's not super healthy. So like we're working towards that, but like we like it's hard when you're like for us when we were younger, that was that's how we became such good friends. Like it's such a social thing for us.
Shout out to you, Steven, being sober with the alcohol. I know that's not easy, because I think people don't realize like that's something that's like an ongoing battle. It's something that it takes a lot of work and work on yourself to just be able to do that. So I'm just gonna give you a shout out
you, man.
for that, bro.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Of course.
Yeah, man, you've been at it for a minute.
Almost 9 months now.
Yeah.
Look at you shining.
Yeah, cause trying to make the rest of the journey a peaceful one, So I feel like we got a good amount of stuff in. You want to anything you want to?
Yeah, is there anything
you want
else?
to pull out the signs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
sure.
Yeah, definitely
I mean,
pull out the
Go over the statistics on that one, man.
Yeah, those are.
'Cause that's
This is a
important.
big
That's what
part.
we're
This
here
is a big
for.
part of what
This
you
is the
do.
one I got bashed on this morning for, but hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one right here, man, and these stats are,
yeah.
when you think about it, really sad. You know what I mean? It makes you really think about the fact that 84 men take their own lives in a week. You know what I'm saying? 84 men. And I always say these stats, they could be even higher than that. Wow. Because there are times when
It's probably gone up since you made the sign.
yeah, but they happen, and a lot of times because of culture and family, people don't like to put that out there that person took their life. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll say something else. But the most important thing about this sign to me is the bottom, and that's like us understanding, especially as men, to express ourselves and not suppress our feelings. It's so important to just let it go, because if not, it becomes like a soda. Like when you shake the soda up. And when you open the soda, what happens?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
And it often explodes in the wrong place too.
And then you end up hurting yourself and the ones that you love around you. You know what I'm saying? Like the people you really love and yourself. That's what ends up happening. So it's just so important to really express your feelings and find strength in that and power in that. Like you expressing yourself is not a weakness. You saying that's a strength. The fact that I'm watching you guys right here and you guys are able to express yourselves even about like. To me, that's powerful right there. You know what I mean?
Like you said, the episode we just put out, this man cried in the episode.
Yeah,
it was that deep. Like, I mean, I don't say that as a joke at all, bro. Like, I was tearing up watching him do it. You know what I mean? Like,
but that to me, that's
being vulnerable. Like
to me, that's power. Like, that's really what makes you a stronger person. It makes you a better person, and then you're able to make those around you better too. Like, you're able to share that same thing that you're doing with yourself with other people too. So that's why I preach these messages, so that people know these stats and people know the importance of it. Because I think some people don't even know these stats. Some people don't even know.
Yeah, that's not public. That ain't in the New York Times.
The reason why it got to this point is because nobody was talking about it for a while.
They don't talk about it, you know what I mean? Because they think that us talking about it is weakness. When it's really a strength. But yeah. And then my other sign is the one that started it all. It's a little beat up. This one's gonna go in.
Yeah, we can take that one if you want. Yeah.
Thanks. This one's gonna go in a frame. When I get my big old crib, because this is the one that started everything right here. You know what I'm saying? It's beat up, but if you're reading this right now, I just want to let you know that your life matters. You are important. You are loved. You are the only you in this world, and no one can replace you. And yeah, these words sound a little cheesy. They sound very cheesy, but guess what? It sounds like Mac Miller said. Yeah. Mac Miller had a video where he said, they say love is cheesy, love is that, but love is real. And these cheesy ass words right here, they're powerful words. You know what I'm saying? And just because you think to yourself, yeah, this song you could tell like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old. Just because we get older doesn't mean we can't hear these words. It doesn't mean that we don't need to hear them. You know what I'm saying? These are words we need to hear too. And I think that we forget as we get older that we matter. We forget that our lives are important because we have so much going on. Not because we don't love ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we have so much going on that we don't have the time to be like, yo, I matter. Like, I'm making a difference.
Yeah, I deserve to be here.
I deserve to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's why when people see this, it touches them so much because these are words that they may have not heard in years or ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe they've never even heard these words. Because a lot of the stuff that you see, a lot of these words are things that you see like when you're in a kindergarten classroom or first grade classroom. Like, you know, those like motivational affirmations they have for little kids, right? Like
with like the dog like jumping
exactly,
to get
like
the
those,
frisbee or
like
something.
Those kind of things. But like for some odd reason, like we grow up and we feel like we don't need to hear him anymore. Like, no, it should be the total opposite. We need to hear him even more because we're going through so much more now as adults.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're a kid, you know, you feel way more confident about that when you were 7 versus how I do now.
Yeah, man, those are beautiful words.
That's amazing, man.
It's very important.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that it's important to just remind people that they matter and that they make a difference. And there was another video I saw about a young man. He was like doing spoken word. And he said something along the lines of like what people think of a man and what they see as a man, and like how we're not supposed to be vulnerable and stuff like that. And I think that's why when I hold up my sign on the bridge, I think people don't expect to see a man holding up a sign like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
you know, like no offense, I think that if it was a woman holding it up, it would not have the same impact if it was a man holding it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because like this dude is up here holding up this sign with these words, with these vulnerable ass words. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They're surprised in you being there. Just kind of like
Right.
it makes the stigma make sense.
But even
because
and even y'all having this podcast right here talking about mental health. There's a million podcasts of women talking about there's million podcasts of women. I appreciate y'all women talking about men's mental health. I appreciate it. Like, there's no shade to that.
No, we're not shading here.
But it's beautiful to also see men talking about our mental health and our experiences because we can say it from our own life experiences.
100%, man.
And it's so important.
And that's, I mean, one of the things that is just a huge part of this for both of us, that like even why it's made it this far is that like I feel like each time we decide to be a little bit more vulnerable each time.
Yeah.
And then when we're bringing on and they're telling their vulnerable stories, it only makes us want to open up more. And like I feel like the best way that you can like deal with that is to share it with people.
It's good for people to see another man to see, because for me, like, mental health was like not something that I wanted to talk about. Evan Britton was a big one for me. He's an ex-NFL player. He was the co-host on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. He's got his own podcast now, the Evan Flow. But this man is a 6'8" offensive lineman, like, who does yoga and talks about spirituality and like about mental health. And like if that doesn't flail, who else would be talking about that? You know what I mean? Like, it's having a fucking gladiator tell you it's okay to talk about what's on your mind. You know?
I think we're seeing a shift, and like I said, like, you know, like we're seeing progress when it comes to like, man, like you said, there's athletes talking about it, right? Like, I don't know if y'all saw the video of Danny Garcia after his boxing fight, you know, and he shared how he felt like all the pressures of being a man and his kids and just like everything, anxiety and depression, everything he was going through. This is after a fight, getting interviewed on Showtime or pay-per-view, whatever it was, you know, like straight up just crying tears. And you see his dad behind him, like just holding him together. You could tell by his dad's face that he was feeling what he was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like that same, like seeing that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that it's a beautiful thing that you're seeing that in athletes now being able to talk about their mental health and their feelings, because now it shows these younger kids, especially that are coming up now, right? Whether they be athletes or not, they look up to these guys, right? They see them as like their heroes. Like, yeah, he's comfortable talking about that. So I should be comfortable with my feelings too, because he is. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, we were all kids. You know how we would look up to our favorite athletes, right? Or whoever our role models may be at that point. And we try to emulate everything that they do, everything that they say. So, like, in the same way we try to emulate their baseball swing or their pitching motion or like their jump shot, we might let's emulate how they express their feelings.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because and then I mean when you add to the fact that like it's probably a lot harder for them in the spotlight, like that means that much more. Like it's one thing, like, you know, for us, like for our followers and stuff like that, we have people, but like some kid might go to school tomorrow and be like, yeah, LeBron was in a commercial for mental health. Like, I think I'm gonna start paying a little bit more attention to that. You know, or LeBron did a commercial for Calm. Like, maybe I'll try.
He's on Calm.
He is, yeah. Which, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It came to
Stuff
my
like
mind
that.
because that was a real example.
Yeah.
That like it's cool to do, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like the word cool has a lot of different meanings, but like, in my opinion, like, it's not cool to hold your feelings in and like be repressed about that. The cool thing is when like you feel comfortable enough to come on here and you share like this, and we just met face to face today.
Right.
That's fucking cool.
Right. Facts, that is.
That's what's fucking cool, dude. Like,
Yeah,
and
right.
that like we both we had similar messages, and then here we sit. Like, that's the cool thing. It's not like
I agree.
Who thought we'd fucking be here?
Yo,
it's not sitting here talking about fucking bitches or whatever it might be, right? Like, right, like it's not.
Because there's space for all of it, and that's what I try to tell people. Like, there's space for all of it. Like, like let's stop with these just low set, like these like just we have so much, like we should expect more of each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Enough with the low vibration.
like low vibration
conversations.
energy is like all this. Like, all right, like I get it, bro, but like we could talk about something else. You feel me? Like, we can do that. We're capable.
We know the Knicks suck, bro. Like, let's talk about something else.
I don't want to keep talking about Julius Randle.
Fuck.
Are they gonna trade everyone for Joel Embiid?
And then we're gonna have nobody left.
Like enough is enough. How much more are we gonna talk about that? You know what I mean? But like the same energy we put into that, we should put into like checking in with our people and having those kind of conversations. It's the only good comes out of it.
Yeah,
man.
Take that time for yourself. You know, like, and I mean, we've said it God knows how many times in this episode, but like, check on your boys. See how they're check on your girls too. Check on your girls too, for
Check
sure.
on everybody that's around that you love. Checking on them. Checking on them.
But like, it's, as you know, as a man, it's tough.
No, it is.
It doesn't, you know, it's gotten a lot easier for us, I think, now that we've been doing this for a few episodes. But when we did that first one, it was like,
Yeah, man.
you're hesitant to open up.
What was your feeling like when the first day that you walked off the bridge, like afterwards? Do you chase that feeling now when you go back? Because I feel like for us, like, knowing that we help somebody with like one of our episodes, like I try and go back for that feeling all the time. Like I used to fucking want to be wasted all the time, like when I was working, and like I would just drink till I got to that feeling of I don't fucking care anymore. Like now I'm chasing something else, like, and that feeling is way more positive and way better energy. Like I'm sure you get that too.
The feeling never changes.
Yeah.
People ask me this all the time, and I say, before I get on the bridge, you know, I tell you guys, I tell myself slow down. I tell myself slow down because it's overwhelming. There's a lot of people on the bridge. Right before I get on the bridge, like if there was a camera following me, you would see me on the side of the bridge for like a good 5 minutes, just on the side of the bridge with my signs, sitting on the bench, just. And then I stand up and I do it. Then when I get off the bridge, it's the same feeling every single time. I feel like, yes. Like it's just like it's like you won a championship almost. That's how I feel like. I feel like, yes, like I made an impact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I made an impact, and somebody came across me today, and shit, it may have saved their lives. Like it may have saved their lives, and at the same time, somebody might have taken this message and just like when they're having a bad moment, they could use it. Like it like all these things cross my mind when I'm walking off the bridge, and it's the same feeling every time. Like I don't even know, just like no matter if it's like 50 people come up to me or just one person, it's the same feeling every single time because like it's almost like getting ready for a big game type vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like in that sense, like it's like that pressure of like if y'all play sports, like when you have like championship game coming up and you have like that, as nice as you are, as good as you are, you still have that
energy.
Like I don't care what LeBron says before NBA Finals, he has to feel that. Even though he's been to like 20 of them and won 4, but whatever.
Oh, all right. Shade. LeBron hate.
Does he have 4 or 5? I don't even know.
I think he's got 4.
4? Okay. Yeah, 4.
It's been like 10 times. Bro.
Hey, Nick, look up how many championships LeBron has, please. Look that up on your phone, please. Thank you, man. Thank you.
But it's that feeling, you know. It's like a feeling of just like accomplishments, just a good feeling, knowing that you did something good and you did something positive for the world, and knowing that you're capable of doing it and making an impact.
Well,
Yeah, wow, that's a beautiful thing, man. I feel like we've been going for a little while now. We really appreciate having you on here.
course.
Is there anything else you want to promote or any other?
Nah, man, I just want.
What do you want to say to the people?
he's got
Say it-
4.
LeBron's
He's got 4. Oh, you want to say? Yeah. Whatever. If it's not LeBron has 4, say it into this camera right here.
LeBron has 4. Y'all know who has 6. The conversation is over. But nah. Before I get off this, I want to thank you guys for having me on. I want to thank you guys for creating this space. I want to definitely give you guys your flowers as far as just being comfortable and being vulnerable and having these conversations. I think to some people it feels like they may think it's easy to do it, but it's not, because when it's authentic and it's real, you're really just going into places, talking about things that maybe were difficult and tough moments in your life that you're able to share with other people. And that's what I encourage other people to do as well, is to do that. And like I said, you don't have to do it on a podcast. You don't have to do it on a camera. You could just do it in your living room with your brother, your father, your close friend, whoever it is. Check in with them so they could check in on you, because that's the only way people will check in on you. Check in on them. You know what I'm saying? That's how you teach. That's how you teach other people to do the same thing. But I just want to remind everybody out there that your life matters. You're important. Don't let anybody ever tell you different. Don't let anybody doubt you. Or like create that doubt for yourself. Always believe in yourself, and you are loved. And sometimes, some days, and sometimes you may feel like you're not, but just continue to have that love for yourself. And because you were put on this world not to be liked, but to be loved. So if someone doesn't like you, just be like, all right, it's cool, because I love myself, and I was put on this earth to be loved, and to love.
Amen, brother. Beautiful word.
Yeah, that was. We're gonna play that at the end of every podcast. Honestly, I don't
That's
know.
the way to end it right there.
Yeah,
man.
but yeah, thank you again for coming
Thank
on,
you
man.
so much
We
for
appreciate you.
being on, man.
Thank you guys for
spreading this
listening out
message.
there.
We really appreciate it.
This has been a blast to get to know you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
Who
y'all.
thought we'd be here?
Who thought we'd be here though?
Yeah, dude.